Like to say good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Tony Hollis Live Talk Show Testify. I'm still waiting on guests to appear. Look like I got two guests already done appear. I see Mrs. Tamika, and I see my sister, Miss Helen Jones, and I see my brother Paris. I can't pronounce his name correctly, but he'll correct me. Shabazz. But anyway, before I get to my guests, I want you all to sit tight. I'll see you in my backstage. And of course, I will be bringing you on, okay? So y'all sit tight, all right? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm still waiting on my the attorneys. Look like they in conference. I don't know if they're going to be able to make it, but they in conference amongst themselves. And so we'll just see how it goes, all right? Look like my brother lost connection there with brother Paris. Looks like he may pop back in. But anyway, today's show, I'm pretty sure you all been watching the news as to what's been going on in Arkansas. As a matter of fact, this was a last-minute show, so I can understand if some of my guests, certain things come up. But anyway, I want to say that I had stated that we was going to start out speaking on some of the tragedies that families are yet facing in Mississippi County and elsewhere who have lost loved ones and have not received any justice. We're going to be bringing them on and let them tell their stories. They're yet in the pursuit for justice, okay? But I want to run this first video. What we're going to be talking about, first topic, we're going to be talking about this bill that the Arkansas Republicans passed it as it relates to the senators now want to prohibit social justice and Black history in the school curriculum. All right. I think we heard it before, here we go again with politicians. First, they believe they know more than the scientists, and now they know more than the teachers in the classroom. And so we're going to make sure that they hear us loud and clear today. But anyway, I got an echo. Let me see if I can turn some down there. Yeah, I had some problems when I was coming on. I tried to turn it down just a little bit. Testing 1, 2, 3. I try to speak a little bit away from my mic. How about now? Can you hear me pretty good now? We'll try to make out with that. But yeah, I know I do get some echo. I'm just getting set back up. But anyway, hopefully we'll get through it. But anyway, there go my brother just popped back through. But let me, before we roll into the show, I want to play this video for you all and let you all just hear this video. And then we'll go from there. You may hear a little echo in it too, but I believe you may hear enough of it to somewhat be the guide as to this first topic that we're going to be talking about. The Arkansas Republican senators, this is their bill, which they're trying to prohibit social justice and Black history in the school curriculum. But anyway, let's go ahead and see if we can pull this video up right now. All right, so just give me a minute to play this. Okay, let's try to go here. Let me just do it like that. And let's go up here and see if we can play this video. And just listen, and then we'll get into the show, okay? All right, where are we?
Introduced bill that would ban Arkansas public schools from teaching certain courses on race and social justice is causing some controversy. The bill's sponsor says it's necessary. Opponents call it un-American. KETV senior political reporter Maureen Glisovic joins us with the specifics and how schools could lose funding. Maureen.
House Bill 1218 would prohibit certain classroom instruction in all Arkansas public schools, including universities. And if it's violated, that school could lose up to 10% of its funding. A bill to ban certain instruction, events, or activities in schools was filed this week. The sponsor of the bill, Representative Mark Lowry, tells KETV it would prohibit promoting the division between or social justice for certain groups, such as race, gender, and political affiliation.
The intention is that so that students, especially K-12, that are captive, are not subjected to humiliation in terms of trying to make a statement about whether there is inequality or inequity. And that's been happening in some of these programs of using critical race theory.
Lowry says the inspiration behind the bill is a certain classroom activity he claims is being taught in some Arkansas schools.
One of the specific examples is what is called the privilege walk, where all the students start in one line and then a number of questions are asked. Do you have two parents? Do your parents own their home? Take steps forward. And then what it does, then it gives this definition of showing which students are supposedly privileged and which ones are not.
An opponent of the bill, Arkansas's 2019 Teacher of the Year, Stacey McAdoo, who says educators within the community know what's best, not legislators.
Individuals outside of those communities dictating what can be taught, what groups can be formed on your campus, again, seems short-sighted, unconstitutional, actually, and very ill-informed.
McAdoo adds, banning conversations in the classroom would be a disservice to students.
It should be a place where we help to foster creative and critical thinking skills. And honestly, that most frequently happens through discourse and the examination of controversial and hard topics.
Another opponent is Allie Noland, a Little Rock School Board member. While not speaking on behalf of the board or district, she took to social media asking people to think about this. Could a history teacher still teach about the civil rights movement? Could an economics class discuss the gender pay gap? Representative Lowry says yes.
What we're talking about allowing are historical perspectives. Those are factual. Those are not theoretical. I mean, there are things that in theory where we have to look forward, but when you're looking backwards, you have the record.
The bill does allow for Native American studies required by federal law to be offered and teaching the history of the Holocaust. Chris?
Okay, Maureen, thank you. Representative Lowry does tell KATV the bill would not prohibit any student-run groups or organizations on campus.
Day, nearly 1,300.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was that. You heard it. You heard the bill. I guess this was a legislator, but you heard it. They claim that things like the civil right era, if you will, it's okay to teach that, but in terms of social justice and as it relates to race or, Black history programs, can't have none of that. And so, of course, I have my thoughts on it, but I have my guests here today, and we're going to let them kind of chime in on it to go ahead and just share with us exactly what is it that they believe in regards to why or how this bill can be defeated. It need to be defeated, shall I say? But anyway, y'all, I'm kind of a little tongue-tied and tired today, so y'all bear with me. But anyway, I'm going to bring my guests on, and I'm going to let each one of them introduce themselves. Like I see, I get the superintendent done tune in as well, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the superintendent to, let me see if I get somebody else to tune in. Okay, we got attorney Bradsfield, and we got President NAACP Rose, and so we all ready to go. And so what we're going to do, we're going to break up in 2 groups, okay? I want to go ahead, Mrs. Attorney Brassfield, she has to be somewhere in a little bit. And so we're going to let her go ahead and open, and then I'm going to come back with my next group, which is going to be local organizations such as the NAACP advocates, as yourself, okay? So let me bring on the, I want to bring on the superintendent, and I also want to bring on Attorney Brassfield. So first, let's go ahead and bring them on right now and let them introduce themselves, okay? So first, we'll start with Mrs. Let me get it right. Let me get it right. Bring on Attorney Brassfield. How you doing, Attorney Brassfield?
I'm well. How are you, sir?
I'm just tired. Just want to say that I'm sorry reaching out to you as late as I did. I know it was a popcorn call, and I appreciate you moving your schedule around to come speak to us on this very important subject. Let me, I thought I had the superintendent on. Let me bring him on with you, okay? And
okay.
Superintendent Atwill. I'm thinking about Superintendent Atwill. Superintendent Ashley. How you doing, sir? Look like you get your sound mute. Your sound is mute.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. You just sit tight. I'm gonna come back to you. But first of all, let me allow each one of you to go ahead and give a somewhat of a little quick introduction of yourself. Exactly who are you and what you do, and you know, that sort of thing. So we'll start with Attorney Brassfield. We'll let you go first.
Hi, my name's Ferronda Brassfield. I'm an attorney in Southeast Arkansas. My office is in Stuttgart, Arkansas. I am a person that cares about equity for all people, specifically people of color. And I'm really excited to be on tonight.
Glad to have you. Glad to have you. Always good to have the legal minds to come join us. And of course, we want to go and allow Superintendent Atwill to go ahead and tell a little bit about himself.
All right. Yeah, my name is Bobby Ashley. I'm superintendent. Yeah, no, that's all right, Tom. But I'm superintendent at Blytheville Schools. I've been here for this is my 12th year, 3rd year to be the superintendent. But I'm glad to be on. I've been on your show before.
Yes,
thanks
sir.
for asking me. And yeah, I think this is I think it's a great topic for us to discuss.
Okay then, and we're going to roll right into it. I know you all get places to be, and we're going to bring everybody back on. Let me see if I can do this here. Hadn't been on in a while, and there we go. Okay, Attorney Brassfield, actually, the reason I want to bring you on, I know that you probably, there are certain things that you might can speak to, and there's other you can't. But in regards to the, let's start with this bill. Do you see any problem with this bill in terms of it being challenged by certain school districts?
I see problems with the, I don't work in the school districts. I don't work in the school districts, so I don't want to speak to that specifically, but I just think that this is it's a horrible bill. Again, our lawmakers have shown their disregard for people of color and the history of people of color in this country. We, again, are trying to skirt over the atrocities that have been committed against people of color in this country. You know, we already don't teach. I mean, what we teach about anybody other than white people in this country is very, very limited in the schools already. And so this is just a slap in the face to constituents of color to say, you know, whatever your history might be, it's not worthy of studying, and we are going to have a bill to that effect. Right, I think it's shameful. I think it's shameful.
I totally agree, wholeheartedly. Just one other question before I move to superintendent. it is in fact a bill that I don't know. I mean, I just don't see how you can look in the mirror at yourself. I'm talking about the legislators, you know, to try to draft a bill that will do, and that's my question that I'm going to move into. What harm do you see that this may be to students in regards to, you know, them being denied the opportunity to participate in whether it's social justices or whether it's to engage in the various Black History programs? We know we got Black History coming up next month. And so what backlash do you see this perhaps, you know, towards the students? I mean, do you see any backlash there?
Is that to me or
Attorney Bradfield, excuse me.
Well, I mean, as far as backlash, I think that that our students should be taught about their cultures in schools. I think that this is just another step to promote white supremacy in our schools. I mean, already when I went to school, listen, I got tired of learning about everybody else other than people that look like me. And that's just a very natural response. You should not teach children of color about everyone else's history, and then maybe during the month of February, touch on their history, and then come behind that with a bill to say, you know, it's illegal to even, I mean, we are in 2021. I think that our children really need knowledge of self. They need to know why we are all in this situation that we currently find ourselves in. Our students and our children need to know how our country has perpetuated white supremacy from its inception. And those things need to be taught in order for all of our children, white, Black, brown, you know, all of our children need to know the true history of our country. And unfortunately, that history is not one of kumbaya and peace. You know, African Americans were held in slavery. There was Jim Crow, the 1619 Project. I mean, that's what we need to be teaching. And Senator Tom Cotton expressed to the nation that he thought that that should not be taught. And now we see during this session, we've got bills that were probably introduced by the likes of ALEC or whoever comes up with this model legislation to pass around the country. And I just think it's shameful. It's not something, especially when we have a coronavirus global pandemic that we're dealing with, and not well. Arkansas is not dealing with it well at all. I think that our legislators need to have their focus in a much better place. This is shameful.
Oh, you alluded to, yes, I read a little bit about the 1619 Project. Do you care to elaborate on that a little bit more? Just explain to the audience exactly what is that program, 1619?
So the 1619 Project is a project through, I believe, the New York Times. And it's a project that it kind of develops the history of African Americans in this country. And it starts with, it aims to reframe the country's history by placing the consequences of slavery and the contributions of Black Americans at the very center of the United States national narrative. That's something that has never happened. There's never been truth and reconciliation in this country. And that's what the 1619 Project aims for, is to just tell the truth about what has gone on in this country, to tell the truth about how African Americans have been enslaved for so long, Jim Crow, and denied rights and denied equal access to public goods and public accommodations. And even now, how that plays out in the way that communities are policed, or the way that communities are redlined, and the way that, you know, these slums and ghettos have been developed. I think we need to tell the truth about that. And that's what the 1619 Project aims to do. It does not lie. It does not do that. It just tells the truth.
Well noted.
People are upset about that.
Well noted. And hopefully those that are listening, that was a learning moment for all of us, exactly what is the 1619 Project. Now, just real quickly, let me move to the superintendent quickly. Superintendent, you heard the bill. I think there was a legislator who was pretty much talking. I think I sent the bill to you. I know it was short notice. You probably hadn't read it all, but basically, the concerns are that the legislators, as you heard, they have drafted a bill trying to make it become law. I think it goes to the House now, and they're trying to make it become law to where they want to restrict social justice and also Black history programs within the school setting. And so what is Blytheville Schools District? What is Blytheville School District position on what the Arkansas legislators want to do?
Yeah, well, Tony, you know, I've scratched my head and try to figure out what the whole purpose of this bill was, and I mean, I think I've come to the conclusion that it's going to sequester our students' voice, and then, of course, as you work through the bill, I mean, it may say one thing, but it has such a lasting effect on so many other things. And I agree with several things that Counselor Brassfield had said. It's strange why the bills came out the way that it did. And you talked about the 1619 project. You know, I'm very aware of the 1619 project. In fact, in our school, our teachers, our history teachers, they do teach segments out of that to go along with their planned lesson. So it's not, you know, we've not banned it by any means in our school. Yeah, you know, it looks like it's just a bill to suppress the version of African American history is that we've talked, and I don't know that there's so many more pieces of African American history that it would sequester that we don't even know. But I think there's more to this bill than what's just written. There's more to this bill, and how many people it's going to affect, as far as just honesty and talking about the true facts. I know Counselor Brassfield had mentioned that, but to me, it just looked like, you know, when we're talking about what it would do, it would sequester, or you couldn't even have possibly the prayer club, the Gay Alliance clubs. You know, they mentioned it in the newspaper. So without just knowing things the deeper with the bill, just on the surface and what I'm understanding of it, it's not a good bill at all. And as superintendent, I won't be supporting it. So,
well, I will say this, sir. I thank you, you know, for your honesty, for your support, in regards to just being concerned with the concerns of the students and the parents. And so I like to say I thank you for that. You've been pretty much a straight shooter, and you know, I thank you for that. You know, for being that champion for the parents and the students. And so as well as Attorney Brassfield, I think she pretty much laid the groundwork in regards to, you know, the problems or the backlash that can come from this bill. And so I really thank both of you for giving your insight exactly the pros and cons of this bill. I know Attorney Brassfield, as she indicated, have somewhere to be, another meeting or what have you. And so just like to just yield to her before she get out. I just want to ask you one other thing. Superintendent, I will be coming back to you for the closing out on this bill in terms of HB 1218. But Attorney Brassfield, I just want to, what is your, I know you heard about the Stand Your Ground bill that is also they're trying to get to become law. Just real quickly, well, I say quickly, but you know, I'm not trying to rush you. What is your what is your opinion on this bill? Do you think that this bill, for example, do you think, first of all, that it's needed? That's the first question. Is it needed? The second question is, do you believe blacks in general perhaps will benefit from this bill? So first, is it needed? And if it is needed, how will this bill benefit black people in general?
So I do not think that this bill is needed at all. Legislators have not really been able to show any real scenarios, any plausible scenarios where this is needed. You know, this is not needed. I think that this will be, especially with the issues that we have had and throughout our country, not only in the state of Arkansas, but throughout our country, with the killing of unarmed black people, you know, the killing of Ahmaud Arbery, the killing of Breonna Taylor, you know, people that don't have guns. You know, if somebody says, hey, I felt threatened, you know, that could possibly be enough to take somebody's life. And I don't think that's necessary at all. You know, I just wonder about the intent of our legislators. I had the privilege and the pleasure of being in the Senate committee meeting when this bill came up last year, when Senator Stephanie Flowers went viral for her response to the bill.
Yeah,
it felt so vile. It felt so evil and nasty. That's how I felt sitting there in the committee room when these legislators were telling these outrageous stories about one legislator came in and said that he told the story that probably, I mean, it didn't even sound like it was plausible. It was all over the place. Like somebody had fought and he had to fight somebody and he could have possibly needed to use the law, but he didn't. You know, it was just strange. And that no one has been able to explain to me why they need this law. So it makes me wonder, you know, what is the purpose of having this? But again, we are in Arkansas is number 3 in per capita deaths in the country. We are above California, who's having a surge that is on the news, on every news station every day. And so they're not focused on that. You know, we're not hearing bills about how they're going to change lives and get some intensive response to that. They want to shoot people down in the streets. So this is another shameful act. It brings shame to our state that we are even having these debates, and I don't think it's necessary or needed.
Well, Attorney Brasfield, I know you said you got about 4 minutes. I'm going to get you out of here. I want to thank you for stopping by and sharing your thoughts, giving us your professional opinion as well as your personal opinion. And I hope we can do this again on other topics. Of course, we're yet going to try to stay on top of these 2 issues here, Stand Your Ground, and of course this terrible bill, HB 1218. And so I just give you the final words before I move to my panel, my next panel, of course. And so just give you the final words as we close.
You know, my final word is a call to first, it's a call to our legislators to be practical and use good sense, to take all of this hate mongering out of our legislature at this time. You know, we don't have time, energy, resources, funds for any of that. We need to be figuring out how we are going to save lives, how we're going to improve medical care here in our state, how we are going to feed people that are hungry, how we are going to keep people from being evicted from their homes who are facing these waves of eviction that absent a federal response is going to continue beyond March. So I'm calling on our legislators to step up and to be responsible in their lawmaking instead of being so emotional behind laws that are quite frankly just shameful and put a stain and a tarnish on the state of Arkansas's name. And secondly, I want to call a call of action to our citizens. These are the folks that you voted in. You know, we need to be putting pressure on these individuals. We need to be letting them know that we will not stand for your hate mongering. We will no longer stand for your attempts to totally dismiss and disregard the history of people of color in this country. So we need more people like you, Mr. Hollis, that are vocal about this, that are standing up, that are saying that, you know, we are tired of this mess. We want real deal lawmaking, and we are sick of this shenanigans that we have seen at least for the last 4 years.
Well said. I just have to come behind you and say I unequivocally agree, or every word spoken. And again, Attorney Brasfield, I really thank you for stopping by, and let's do this again soon, okay?
Absolutely. Thank you, and have a great day.
Peace and love. Bye-bye. Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I see I thought Superintendent was gone. Let me close him out, give him last words, and I come to my panel. Panel, just hold real short. I appreciate your patience. But Superintendent Edwell, is there anything that you're, I keep saying Edwell, why is I keep saying Edwell? Superintendent Ashley, I want to go ahead and give you the final words in regards to exactly, is there anything that for a letter or a telephone call that either you or school board members have made showing that you don't believe that this is a good bill, it's not a good fit for the Blythe School District? Let me just say that.
Right. Well, you know, first of all, Tony, that probably the reason you called me Mr. Atwell is because, you know, he was superintendent for 9 years, and I know you and he visited pretty often, so that's understandable. And I'm, you know, mine's an A, so I understand, but that's quite all right. Tony, we know our board has not had time to, you know, that the bill itself is just become where it was, for me to understand it, around last Friday, and I didn't get to do a deep dive into it because we were getting out of school to head home. So, so to answer your question, no, we've not, but it's because the board and I have not discussed it, and I've not heard what they've had to say or me. But I will say this though, Tony, you know, and I think you know me well enough. Any bill that would hurt my kids, our kids, Blytheville School District's kids, you know, I'm going to be against. I'm not going to, you know, I don't want our kids' voices to be squelched. I don't want them to not be able to talk about and discuss difficult conversations, because if they do not have the opportunity to do that, then how are their minds guided? How do they make decisions moving forward? So, you know, I always want our kids, our students, to be able to express themselves, and I know our teachers are, you know, these are wonderful talking points for our teachers. I know a while ago when you had counselor, I call the attorneys counselors, but Counselor Brasfield on there. I had just visited with Miss Brasfield, who I know, Christy Brasfield, who I know you know, and you know, Christy's got a good head on her shoulder, and I visited with her. Sir, yes, sir.
I say she does.
She does. She's got a good head on her shoulders, and so, you know, I run stuff across her to see, Christy, you know, what is this bill really trying to say? And so she's very good at that type of stuff. So as we move forward in this bill, in all honesty, Tony, I don't think the bill will pass, but at the same time, it very well could. It depends on, there's a lot of people there in our legislation that are like Mark Lowry, and you know, and there very well could be. Well,
I just want to say again, I know that whatever decision that the school district do make, you will, of course, maybe come back on this show, or maybe you'll be going to the media, and so just give us some type of, at least myself, that is, give me some head up, and so hopefully I can be prepared to go ahead and help get the word out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, Tony, thank you.
I want to thank you for coming by, and have a remaining blessed Sunday, okay?
Yes, sir. You too, Tony. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye. Well, ladies and gentlemen, now we can move to our full panel that we have. I'm going to bring each one of these wonderful people on and let them go ahead and tell a little bit about themselves, all right? So let's go ahead and zoom everybody in, and that way we'll go from there. This is my strong sister, Mrs. Helen. Let me see if I get superintendent still in there. Hold up. I'm trying to get it right here. But anyway, I got my sister, Mrs. Helen Jones, my strong soul sister. How you doing, Miss Jones? Doing all right?
I'm fine. How you doing?
All right. Let me bring everybody in, and then we're going to get to rolling, okay? Next, we have another strong sister there. I call her Tam. She don't remember me calling her Tam.
I don't mind.
My strong soul sister, Tam. How you doing?
I'm good. How about yourself?
All right. And now we got another strong brother here. One of my boxing mates there. You know, he always get on to me about pronouncing his name. So I'm going to call him Mr. Shabazz.
There you go. That's good.
Did I get that right, Mr. Shabazz?
You got it right, Tony.
Also, that will be joining us. I will be coming back to you to let you go ahead and tell a little bit about yourself. And I also got this strong sister down on the northwest end of the state who served as president of the North Little Rock NAACP branch, I believe. How's everybody doing?
Fantastic.
All right, so I'm going to move around. I want to let you all go ahead and introduce yourself and just tell a little bit about, you know, who you are, what you do, you know, that sort of thing. Okay, so we'll go back up and we'll start with my sister, Sister Helen. We'll go ahead and start with you. Okay. Sister Helen Jones, we'll start with you.
Okay. Well, my name is Helen Jones Solis, and I live in my name is Helen Jones Solis, and I live in the Jones area, and I am a concerned citizen regarding social issues and Black issues as well. A lot of time, well, for the long time, we haven't had a voice, and I'm concerned about that and willing to do whatever it takes to get that rolling.
Well, all right then. Look like we get some social networking going here towards a connection here, but we'll manage. Of course, we want to move to Sister
Technical difficulty.
Sister Helen. Excuse me, Sister Tam. Tell a little bit about yourself and exactly what is it that you do.
Well, I'm just my name is Tamika Collins, and yeah, you do call me Tam all the time. I'm like Helen. I'm a concerned citizen, parent. Have one child is still in school, so this issue is really this new issue that's come up is really something that we all need to be aware of and try to do something about. But I work a 9 to 5, just like everybody else. But I work for a call center here in Jonesboro. I live here in Jonesboro, and I've been here since 2002. So I've been here for a long time. And I'm just, like I said, I'm just a concerned Black parent, is trying to do right by my Black son.
All right then. And just hold that thought. We're gonna come back and roll into the show. I'm gonna move on over here to my brother, Brother Shabazz. Let him go ahead and tell a little bit about himself and exactly what is it that he do in the community.
Hello. Hey, my name is Faraj Shabazz. I'm a long-term native of Osceola, Arkansas, born and raised. What I do is speak to people. I speak to a congregation of people. I have family, kids, grandkids, all in Arkansas. So whatever happens in Arkansas reflects on me. It gravely, disturbed me. So when I talk to some of the kids there, and here in the Chicagoland area where I live.
Well, all right then. Glad to have you. And we're going to move over to my sister who served as the North Little Rock NAACP branch. Sister Rose, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine. Just give us an introduction of yourself and exactly, I think I pretty much already done told them what you do in the community, but we're here from you.
Okay. Yeah, I serve currently as the 4th president of the North Rock NAACP unit number 6026, and just an avid volunteer in the community. And I'm a firm believer that we do need the village for our children. My youngest child is 35, so that's not why I'm concerned. It takes all of us in there to make a difference in the life of young people. So that's just one of the things.
Well, all right. And you just hold that thought. We're going to come back to you. And I get my strong brother who always rocking the boat down on the northwest end of the state of Arkansas, and man who has no fear for anything that's in front of him. And we go ahead and bring him on now. My brother, let me go ahead and zoom him in single there. Mr. Aaron, how you doing, my brother?
Hey, I'm pretty good, man. How's everybody doing this evening?
Oh, man, we doing fine, man. We're just trying to go ahead and zoom in on some of the key issues, or latest issues, that is, as it concerns Black people in general. And so just tell us a little bit about yourself. I know most people know you, but we just want you to go ahead and introduce yourself and exactly what is it that you do.
Yeah, my name is Roselle Aaron, and I never take it for granted that somebody may or may not know me, but I'm the first vice president of the North Little Rock NAACP, and you heard my president, Deborah Roach, just a moment ago. But I'm also co-owner of Joy Net Radio, a Black-owned and operated internet station here in Arkansas, as well as a host of the Power of Justice broadcast, where we talk about human rights, civil rights, social justice, and criminal justice. But I do a lot of volunteer work. And that's not to boast, but that's what I do, is a lot of volunteer work in the community as it relates to criminal justice reform and issues related to race and the criminal justice system.
Well, all right. Look like we got our whole panel now assembled for everybody that who's just tuning in and listening. And so really what we're going to do right now, we're going to talk about just two issues. The first one we already done covered pretty much on the HB bill 1218 as it relates to trying to prohibit social justice and certain Black history programs in the school curriculum. And so now what we're going to do, we're going to speak to this Stand Your Ground law. I think I asked it, attorney, I'm going to ask the same question to you all. The first two questions I'm going to ask, and we're going to go around. If you can just give me 2-3 minutes on this question. The first question is this law needed? Stand your ground. That's the first question. The second question is, how will this law benefit Black people in general? If it will, if you think it will benefit Black people. I'd like for you to go ahead and elaborate exactly how will Black people in general benefit from this law. So first of all, is it needed? Secondly, will Black people benefit from this law? So we'll start with Sister Helen Jones. We'll let you go ahead and start first. And just tell us exactly, do you believe this? Well, you heard the question, so I turn it over to you. Ms. Helen Jones. Can you hear me, Ms. Helen Jones? Can you hear me?
It's frozen.
Yeah, look like you're freezing up. Can you hear me? I don't know if you can hear me or not. You sit right tight now. I'm coming back to you. We're on the question of stand your ground. Do you think the law is needed? If so, how will Black people benefit from it? You just sit tight there. I'll come right back to you. Sister Tanya.
I don't see a need.
Pardon me?
That's not. That's Helen, I think.
Look like I'm losing people here.
I think that was Helen that was trying to talk, Tony.
Yeah, I don't see her though. I mean, look like we done lost connection with her. I don't see her. Maybe she'll tune back in. Matter of fact, I done lost 2 people.
Still here.
Let me let me go ahead and let you zero in on the 2 questions that I asked, and we'll come back to Sister Helen. Okay.
Okay, ask me that again. I know you said something about the stand your ground. Why do we need it, and what else?
Well, first of all, is it needed?
No, I don't think it's needed.
How do you see Black people benefiting from the stand your ground law?
We're not going to benefit from it. It's not needed. For one, like the attorney was saying, we don't have the issues like these big cities are having, you know, with with the issues of them, you know, with the shooting and all that stuff. I mean, it's here, but it's not like that. I mean, because it's what I think it's going to do is going to be open season on us. It's going to give them a good reason to just go ahead and just shoot us for absolutely nothing, you know, because they're already in fear or say they're in fear of us. And then, you know, then you've got this law that they're trying to pass that's going to really be like, okay, well, maybe they were in fear, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then here you go with somebody else that's not going to get prosecuted for just killing, for just, you know, like I said, it's open season on us. There's nothing that they're going to be able to do about it. So no, we don't need that. We don't need it. It's not necessary. And it's not going to benefit us at all.
All right.
I mean, it hasn't fared anywhere else, basically, for us anyway.
Glad to hear your thoughts on that. We want to move around to same question, Brother Shabazz.
I don't think Arkansas need it. I mean, unless you're recognizing the pros and cons of having it, and Black people specifically understand the rules and the laws that come with it. It's just not as simple as people think it is. But it does. I agree with Tamika. It does give others, right, other people, an opportunity to utilize a law to annihilate a group of people and be without any type of consequences. So I don't think it wouldn't be no good for Arkansas.
Okay, then. Appreciate those thoughts. We'll move to President Rose. So what is your thoughts on the 2 questions? Is it needed? If so, how would it benefit? How would Blacks benefit from the stand your ground law?
Tony, is certainly that law is not needed. And at a time in our country where we are already divided, we're in so much turmoil, this would only add more division to what's already a divided country. And if we're trying to unify, this would only be an open target. How can you really tell whether or not you're threatening? Is it because how I look, what I say to you? I think that having that you need to retreat is better because we have been open target even before George Floyd and Breonna Taylor. Well, all before then, down through the years, we have been open target. And so this would only enhance more, especially African Americans being killed. Mm-hmm. So definitely this would be a no for Arkansas. It would be a poor decision.
Well, all right, you sit tight and we're going to come back and we all going to join in and chime in on these very 2 questions. Let me move to my brother, Vice President, first Vice President, I may be getting that title. I can say Vice President, Brother Abram. Let's move to him and same 2 questions. Is the law needed? If so, how would Blacks benefit from such law? Stand your ground.
It may be my phone, but I've got terrible reception. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. I can hear you and see you.
You said, okay, good. All right. The main thing that I've been bringing up, first of all, it's not necessary. It's an unnecessary law. And it does not benefit Black people. As a matter of fact, it will harm Black people. And I think some other speakers spoke to that. But to speak in specific terms, I've been involved in numerous protests here in Central Arkansas where both sides have been armed, including myself. I open carry. I exercise my right to bear arms, and in some of the protests, or in matter of fact, the majority of protesters and counter protesters are armed. There's always there's always a threat, always, because we're dealing with white supremacists, and because of that. Because we understand the law as it stands now, that we have a duty to retreat. The duty to retreat has in fact helped to avoid shootout. Matter of fact, the way that I put it is that the reason that downtown Little Rock and the Capitol grounds aren't littered with bodies is because we understand that we have a duty to retreat as the law stands now. If this is passed and we no longer have a duty to retreat, it will create an environment that's ripe for a shootout, because you have white supremacists on one side and then criminal justice reformers on the other side. Everybody's got guns, everybody's got bullets, and to be frank, I'm always in fear for my safety when I'm around white supremacists that have guns in their hands. And so right now, without SB 24, people are safer on both sides of the aisle. But if SB 24 becomes law, I can almost assure you that at some point when protests resume, that it's more likely than not that there will be a shootout. Not because there needs to be, or not because anyone wants there to be. Everybody wants to go home. Everybody wants to live. But because everyone wants to live, then we have to decide who has to shoot first. And I can assure you that I plan on going home. As a former police officer, a Marine Corps infantryman, and an Army helicopter crew chief and door gunner, I plan to go home. And so that law, SB 24, or that bill, SB 24, creates an environment that there is greater potential for people to die because we no longer have to run or hide or retreat, if you will.
Well, all right. I thank everyone for those first two questions there. We're going to actually stay on this topic probably for about another 5 minutes before we move on to close it out on the, the HR, the HB Bill 1218. Of course, what do you say to those? I think we had some dialogue back and forth on my page. What do you say to those Black individuals who say that they think it's a good bill because I guess for some reason or another, they are having some encounters with people that look like them in their communities or what have you. What do you say to those individuals who are saying that this is a good bill and it's needed? We'll start with you, Sister Tam. What do you say to those folks?
Like
Black people.
The what now?
Black people is the one that's making this claim that they think it's a good bill.
I don't see how they could. I could see it in one aspect, but like in the big picture of it, how? How do you think it's a good bill? Because this is what's going to happen. Okay, so if they pass it, this is my opinion. If it passes, right, and say we shoot somebody and we say, oh, I fear for my life. I'm a Black person. I shoot somebody white, right? First thing they're going to do, first thing that I feel like they're going to say is, how did you feel that your life was in fear? This person could have been, they could have had a gun or whatever. And then I shot them first before they shot me, or something like that. But the way that it feels like to me is that they're going to use this reverse. They're going to reverse it on me and say, well, you could have done this, you could have done that. I don't think that you were really in fear of your life. And then I'm going to jail. But with it being the opposite, a white person shoots me and kills me. And then they say, well, I was in fear of my life. And this is why I shot her. Well, this person gets to go home. They get to go home. I think that what it is going to be, like I said, it's going to be open season for one. I don't see how any Black person could say, you know, I think this is a good bill. You know, this is what's gonna, you know, this is gonna be good. You know, they do this here, they do that there. You know, we can shoot them legally and avoid jail time. No, I don't think it's gonna work like that. I think it's gonna be just like it's been in the past. They're gonna use these laws and these bills to further incarcerate us. I mean, it's a lot of us in jail. I mean, the prisons are overrun with Blacks. You have more Black people in jail than you have white. Like the crimes, like drugs, for instance. We get more time than the white people for drug offenses. You know, so this is another thing to keep us locked up. You know, to get us locked up. This is going to be a legal form of way to get us locked up even further than what we are now.
Well, all right. Look like we done lost some people. Look like Brother Roselle. He said he was having some type of connection problem, and we know Sister Helen, she was having problems as well. So it looks like we're gonna go ahead and just leave this screen up here on the floor since we lost some people. And so we'll move to let's see, who did we get next up? I think it's I don't know if I get it, Brother Shabazz. Did I get you on this question here?
No.
Okay, go ahead, sir. And we'll move to President Rose next.
Okay, yeah. I can see why someone can say yeah. I mean, definitely see why someone can say yeah. They believe that the field would be sort of equal. It gives them a right to, you know, shoot back to defend themselves. But like Mr. Tamika was saying, they don't understand that when they set this law up, it's not set up for us. It's set up for them. It's set up to protect themselves. As you notice, there is one in Florida, standing around in Florida. And I'm quickly going to tell you example. A couple of years back, a guy, his pregnant wife, and his 5-year-old son was at a gas station, and they were parked in a handicapped parking spot without the sticker. And the guy, a white guy, pulled up beside them while the man took his son in the store and was arguing at the pregnant woman. Well, someone went and got the man, and the pregnant woman's boyfriend, he ran outside, and in the middle of a few seconds, the white guy shot him in the chest and killed him. And of course, he got away with it because he said he feared that when the Black guy, because he's 6 feet, 280 pounds, came out, it scared him to death. So he didn't know what else to do. So you see, with that example alone, it lets you know it don't really work for you. I mean, it really don't. So you got to be conscious, and you got to understand. And I say to everybody, please go and read all these new laws, all these new legislations they're coming out with, and then you will understand what's going on. And then you can veto it and tell them no. You know, you have that right.
Well, all right. We'll move to.
We don't have it here in Chicago. You know, they just you know, what they want to do here.
President Rose. I can't hear you. Look like you're mute.
Hold on. Okay, now can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, all right. Basically, we would be once again like the Wild Wild West, and I'm gonna shoot you before you shoot me. And I think that if we all would think of the bigger picture, if we were on the flip side of the story, how it would be. And so I just think that this will be a license to kill. And even though Blacks may feel like they can be vindicated in the matter because they felt threatened, but who's to say who feels threatened? Was it a physical threat? Was it a mental? Was it some words that you said that you felt so threatened? And I just think that this would be a terrible law, you know. And I do know that, you know, justice isn't always fair, but that's what it takes us holding the legislatures and the people that we put into office accountable. And in order to hold them accountable, we have to voice our opinions, because if you don't have a voice, you don't have any power. And so we need to stand up, you know, not when it affects you, but before it affects you. And so this would be detrimental to the African-American community as a whole.
Well, all right, we're going to close out on this question, and this is the last of the questions that I have. And then when we come back, starting back with Sister Tam, I'm going to go ahead and let you all take about 2 or 3 minutes to close out on both subjects in regards to the Stand Your Ground and the HB Bill 1218. I'm going to go ahead and give you the opportunity to close out on it. And then I'm going to move to my audience over here who's sending in. I don't know if we got questions or what. So we'll let Brother Aaron go ahead and give his spin, his thoughts on exactly what do you say to individuals, black folks that is, that this is a good bill for black people. Look like we done lost Brother Aaron again. Look like he went back out. We done lost him again. Let's give him a few minutes to see if he'll come back in. Don't look like he's coming back in. Look like he's having some internet connections. But this last question, of course, like I said, I wanted to get the questions out of the way in regards to the Stand Your Ground. Those questions, first of all, the bill needed. How would it benefit black people? You know, what do you say to those black people who are calling it a good bill? And so those are the main 3 questions that I had. And now, if you all have anything that you like to elaborate on either bill, you can speak on one, you can speak on both. I'm gonna go ahead and extend you, 2 or 3 minutes to go ahead and close out on that. So we'll go ahead and start with back to Sister Tang.
What I would tell any person of color that think that this bill is something great, read on it. Read about what Stand Your Ground means, and also look at the history of where it has not worked in our favor. I just don't think that it's good. I'm a gun owner myself, have several firearms, but the thing about it is you have people that don't look like me that will more than likely get away with shooting somebody that looks like me, and then use this bill as an excuse to shoot and kill me and harm me, and then they don't spend a day in jail. Versus where if I was to do the same thing, I'd be locked up. I'd be thrown in jail. I'd be under the jail because just like Brother Shabazz was saying, I saw the video of that when that man, he killed this man. All he did was walk out the store. Hadn't said anything, and the guy shot and killed him, and then used this as an excuse to shoot and kill this man. So this is not a good bit. It does not favor us. It does not favor us at all. So I would say to those people, just read up on it and look at what the history so far that this bill has not done for people of color.
Well, Sister Tam, thank you for dropping in. I know you're just getting off work and you made it happen. You stopped by and you always give me good info that I can also take in and learn from. And so I thank you for stopping by. And as I said to my other guests, don't be a stranger. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. You have a blessed day. All right.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. And now we'll move to my brother Shabazz. Go ahead and close out with your thoughts on both subjects or one. Your pick. Or you can do them both.
For the one that's the HB 121, is that right?
Well, the bill for the trying to prohibit social justice and black history. That's the House Bill 1218.
1218. That's nothing more than a new form of the Willie Lynch syndrome. That's what it is. He was talking about the privileged demonstration that was done before. It had people moving. He had a whole row of kids. And asked, if your parents live in a 2-story, if the parents are together and still married, take 10 steps up. So all the white kids took 10 steps up. If you live in a nice home, take 10 more steps up. So it showed who was privileged and who wasn't. That's what he was talking about, the legislator there. But yeah, it's just another form of the Willie Lynch syndrome. Once you read the whole story of the Willie Lynch syndrome, you understand. As far as to Stand Your Ground, you gotta, I'm with Tamika on that. Learn your history. Think about it. The Black Panthers use guns. They use it. They were very successful in it, but in the end, look how they turned that all around and made them out to be something they wasn't, and gave them the right to come in and kill them. Also, look at Philadelphia 1984. They bombed the whole block from a couple of people from an organization because they said they had guns, even though they was able to carry guns and had the necessary paperwork to have it. So you got to ask yourself those questions. Is it going to be safe for me, my family? Will I be protected? What harm will it be done? And again, I say, I can't say it enough. Please understand that law. Really read and research on that law. And you'll see all the loopholes. You'll see everything happen. It does not include you, just like the Constitution.
Well, all right, my brother. As always, you know, I love your input. Love the conversation we have when we hook up and, you know, break bread or what have you. Say to all my other guests, don't be a stranger. You always have a place on this show.
I appreciate you having me, Tony. Proud of you, bro.
All right, my brother. You have a blessed day.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right, we're going to let my sister, Mrs. Rose, close us out.
Well, you had some very thought-provoking things on the show today. Of course, the stand your grounds, and you didn't touch on it a lot, but the House Bill 1231 concerning the 1619 project, but then right now it's crucial for our education. There is a divide in so much still going on in our country and even in our state for its health care, but even when it comes to education. And I wrote a poem years ago that's going to be a book called My Black History, Learn of Me. But the whole essence of this is not that, yes, there were plenty Blacks that contribute to history. But the ultimate thing that Black history is American history. Learn of me. We have to learn from each other. And in order to learn from each other, we have to learn to have conversation, to learn our differences, where we've been, to know how come we're at this place where we are now, and to take that would be detrimental for these kids that are coming up. Because even when you talk about Black history, it's not just about white America learning about Black history. We don't even know a lot of our history. So I just think Black history is American history. And so we shouldn't, if we can keep the Holocaust and those kinds of things in our history, how can you really differentiate? I have 14 nationalities in me. So what part of my history are you going to teach? Yeah, my skin color is Black, and I'm proud of that. But what part are you going to pull out and say, I'm going to teach about you? And so I think this will be, we need to really stand up. I got grandchildren that are coming up in a world that's already divided, and they already don't know their history. And when we talk about America history, the thing that we had January the 6th in our nation capital was a travesty. And we don't need to continue that kind of history, but that's American history. My history is American history. And it needs to be there. And we need to call our legislature, get on phone, write letters and emails so that this will not happen. Not here in Arkansas. Everybody is talking about Arkansas and how we have taken one step back, and now we'll take one step forward and 4 steps back. And we got to put a stop to it.
Well, President Rose, with you leading that organization, Northwest NAACP, I'm pretty sure you and
North
Little Rock, NAACP. I'm pretty sure you and your Vice President, Brother Rozelle, I'm pretty sure you all is gonna stay on top of those issues down on that end. And when you do what you do on that end, it helps us on this end. And so
I applaud you for your work that you're doing and continue to do. Now I met you when you were in the NAACP, and you know there's still much room at the table. Okay.
All right. But you know how that go. Well, that's another point.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, again, you have a remaining blessed day, and as I told my other guests, you always have a place on this show whenever you choose to come back.
All right. Thanks for the invite, and you be blessed. Be safe.
All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move to the audience here. I know that we had a full plate. I dare not to like closing out without going to see if I can find any questions over here that need to be. And first of all, before I start, Sister Webb, please forgive me. I was rushing. I sent out all the links, and I forget. My sister, I owe you. You hear me? I owe you. I owe you, and I will make good on it. I thank you for tuning in anyway, and you are absolutely correct. I missed out sending you that link, so please forgive me, Sister Webb. Please forgive me. I feel a little bad now that I didn't get all the links out. So I will. I owe you. Okay, I owe you, Sister Webb. I owe you. But anyway, I want to move through my screen here to see if I got any questions over here that you all may have before we close out. I mean, think about some questions now. Yeah, we had real outstanding guests on. We heard from the attorney, Bradsfield. We heard from Superintendent Edwill. We had an awesome platform of advocates in the community, whether they from the NAACP or they just community advocates. We had a real strong panel here today. So hopefully they said something that touched your minds. So before I close out, I want to go over here again. If you haven't sent a question in, please send it in. And also you got my number down there, 870-740-1515. I don't have my PA system set up, but if you call, I will put the phone to the mic to let you go ahead and share. I hope Sister Webb, if you're listening, my number there, 870-740-1515. Sister Webb, if you want to speak on either of those topics that we spoke on, I also will give you the opportunity to speak now. So that's my number there. Okay. So let's see if we got any questions over here. Everyone saying hello. I think I done went through everyone. That's my sister there. Sister Webb, please call me if you want to speak. Okay. And I owe you. I still owe you. All right. My brother Clifford, I can't log on. Oh boy. Well, I don't know if you did it, Brother Allen, but all they simply say was to just give access to your camera and your mic. If you did that, you should have connected. This is a real easy, connection stream services that I'm with now. But I will get with you sometime after the show, and we'll just go ahead and run a test, because I do plan on having you to come back, Brother Allen. That's Sister Janice. How you doing? I think I got her. Sister James, how you doing, my sister down in Osceola? Jim Crow in action. Okay. You got any questions? Come back to me. This bill is absolutely disgusting. Another statement. Okay, we got Sister Hanley. How you doing, my sister? She's strong too, also down in Osceola. We already do not cover enough Black history. Totally agree. There go Mrs. Campbell again, my sister. They took prayer out. They took prayer out now this. Okay. I always say, people, yes, they did take prayer out of school, but pray for your children before they get on the bus or before you take them to school, all right? Also, keeping them ignorant about our history so they can keep control. It's all about control. Totally agree. I'm still trying to get to the questions. It's not necessary except to give them a legal way to continue killing Blacks and non-whites without accountability. Totally agree. It just made it harder for parents to do their job in terms of keeping their children safe. They just done made it that much harder. So I totally agree. All right. Those are two brothers there communicating there, Brother Shabazz and my brother Hughes down there, and I think he's still in Osceola. He may be living up the road as well. Again, yes, we talked about the Willie Lynch syndrome. I think I hit base on that a few weeks ago. It's just a question. They're not just talking points. They are educational and teaching points for all. Totally agree. Thank you, my sister. We got Brother Wilkinson. We all know what stand your ground means and who it's meant for. Totally agree. Hopefully we can convey that message to folks that look like us, where they can understand that that law is not for you. Okay, as much as you might want to brag about it and how it's good or whatever, that law is not for you. All right. Also, we got Sister Rudd. That's my strong sister there. She always tuning in with me, regardless if it passes or not. I say protect yourself, and by all means. However, we don't need that law. All right, that's a strong young sister, you know, spoken with wisdom. Totally agree. You know, we don't need the law, but just the same as she stated, you know, we must protect ourselves. All right, because we do get some folks that look like us that mean to do us harm. Okay, now I'm not encouraging this bill by saying that, but what I'm saying is that Black people, we got to get to the point to where I started to say get back, but I can't remember when the last time we did love each other. But we got to get to the point to where we loving each other, not harming each other. Okay. All right. That's Brother Wilkerson again. You are so right. Again, we got Sister Williams, or we don't need the law at all because it sounds like a setup. Most definitely. We're getting down to the bottom here. Y'all know me. I don't like to close out and leave y'all hanging. I worked for the sheriff department. Killing Black men is nothing new. Totally agree. I go my sister there down in Missouri. How you doing there, Sister Rose? It's set up for them, not us. True. They're gonna be bad. All right. Again, I'm still trying to find a question. No questions. That's Sister Rose again. Speaking on the new law. Brother Wilkerson, Black men are lynched every day by white privilege, American everywhere. Again, that's Sister Rose, lady. Again, my brother Wilkerson there. Thank you, Sister Tamika. As well as this law is not a law, it's genocide. Okay. Of course, that's all I don't see any questions for us private messages over here. That's basically all we have. Again, I had an outstanding platform today. Guest that came and sat will testify. Again, I want to say to you all, this is your platform. Testify. There's many places that you can go will not allow you to speak your mind, speak your truth. You always have a place on this show. Testify. Whatever the problem is, if you call me, that's my info at the bottom there, my phone number to the show. Many of you have my telephone number, or you can inbox me. Call me, give me your information. I will fax check your information. If everything checked well, we'll bring you onto the show and we'll make it happen. So with that being said, if there's nothing else for us questions, I don't see any that need to come before this platform. Look like I went 16 minutes over. Don't like to do no more than an hour. I'm trying to get away from that hour and a half and 2 hour shows. We're just 16 minutes over, and so still pretty good time. Time well spent, I should say. And so if there's anything that you all want to talk about going forward, let's stay on top of this, stand your ground. Let's watch the legislators. I send that link out to all of you all of the website that you can visit. Please start checking that website, the Arkansas legislators, to where they're introducing bills. You know, they just beginning the session now, and so there's going to be some bills in there that is not going to be in your best interest. So please visit the website and check out who are these legislators that are passing these bills. And before I close, I want to say this here before I close. Dave Wallace is our state senator on this end. Many of you know that I've had Mr. Wallace on this program. Many of you know that I've spoke highly of Mr. Wallace in terms of as it goes back to help assisting me on some things when it comes to trying to get testing for the pandemic, COVID. I mean, and so he have did some good things, but nevertheless, I'm the kind of person, and I hope you all will follow my suit. Okay, I can have a relationship with someone that they be a person, that they be a legislator, official of any kind. But when that legislator do something that I believe that is not going to be in the best interest of people in general, then myself, I will take a stand against that particular bill, or showing that I'm not happy with my legislator in terms of his performance. I'm big enough to do that. I can do that, and I can still have a working relationship with the person that I'm opposing. Okay, that's what you all need to do. Okay, now many of you thought that I wasn't going to speak against Dave Wallace. I fooled you, didn't I? Many of you thought that I wasn't going to speak against Dave Wallace. Now, let's see you do the same. And you know what I'm talking about. Many of you know that you get city officials right here in this city that not doing what they should be doing by the people. As Dr. King say, silence is nothing but an act of betrayal. Okay? As long as you are silent, I'm talking about you people that support some of these officials here in Blytheville and Mississippi County. Okay? Or it may even go up to the county and the state level. I want you all to have the courage to go to your state legislator, or go to your county legislator, or go to your city legislators. And if they are doing things that is not in the best interest of the community, I challenge you to do what I did, to call out your person who you support. Call them out on why you believe that either their actions or inactions do not serve in the best interest for the citizen of this particular city, county, or state. Can you do that? I challenge you to do the same. You can still have a relationship with these elected officials, but you only help them that when you speak on the good and you speak on the bad. Now, just like you all had that mindset thinking, well, is Tony going to say something about Dave Wallace? I fooled y'all, didn't I? You see, I don't hang on nobody's strings. Okay? I'm my own man. Okay? I speak my own mind. Regardless of who the official is, if you're wrong, I'm going to call you on it. And I challenge you to do the same. All right? So going forward, just like you all had that mindset wondering, where's Tony? Is Tony going to say something? I'm going to come right back to you and ask you to do the same. Okay? So I don't see if I have any more questions before I close out over here. I don't see any questions. That's Sister Tam there. She said, you're welcome. I think she was speaking to Brother Wilkerson. We got to hold these people and accountable for the action. Okay, y'all, that's my show. I thank you all for tuning in with me. Please do come back. Again, we're going to try to roll into bringing those people on to speak about how the criminal justice system have failed them in terms of getting justice for their loved ones who they lost in, to gun violence or some other type of violence that led to the death of their loved one. So I will be bringing them on. So just watch me. I will be posting. So that's pretty much my show today. And I want to say to you all, may God bless you all. I want you all to thank you. Thank you, Sister President Rose, North Little Rock, NAACP. Thank you. Thank you for coming on. And I just want to say to you all, may you all have a blessed, wonderful remaining Sunday. And again, catch me on Sundays, 6:00 p.m. If I do any other show, it'll be a special show, okay? But just tune in on Sunday, if no other time, all right? So if there's nothing else to come before us, that's Brother, who's that, Miss Williams? That's Brother Ferris, okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you. And so if there's nothing else to come before this, please question your city. Exactly. If there's nothing else to come before us, I can't close out without Sister Webb. I really do apologize. Please, I owe you, and I'm going to make good on it, okay? And I thank you for tuning in just the same. But you and I will be talking. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's my show. May you all be blessed and have a remainder Sunday, what's left of it. And we will be coming back to you speaking on those cases to where loved ones are yet in pursuit of justice. Okay. So until then, have a blessed remaining Sunday. Stay safe. The pandemic is real. Peace and love. God bless and good night.